Let us learn today one of the popular theorem that we have in network theory or network analysis, Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. Okay, so we will discuss in detail about Thevenin's and Norton's theorem today.
Okay, now what does Thevenin's theorem says? Any linear bilateral network, however complicated it may be. Okay, so any linear bilateral network, however complicated it may be, which is connected to a load impedance at the output terminals, which is connected to the load impedance, can be replaced by a simple equivalent circuit which contains a voltage source and an impedance in series with it. It means that if I have a complicated network, for example, now this is voltage Vs, for example. Now this is connected to a complicated linear bilateral network. Connected to the load at the end can be converted into a simple network which contains a Thevenin's equivalent voltage source in series with the Thevenin's equivalent resistance, and that in turn in series with the parallel. So this is V Thevenin, Thevenin's equivalent voltage source. This is R Thevenin, Thevenin's equivalent resistance, and this would be parallel. This would be load resistance, which is in series with this Thevenin's equivalent resistance. So any complicated network can be converted into a simple network, which is the Thevenin's equivalent circuit, which contains Thevenin's equivalent voltage source in series with Thevenin's equivalent resistance and in series with the load resistance. So this is Thevenin's theorem statement. Now, how to find out VTH and how to find out RTH, I will tell you the procedure after telling the statement of the theorems. Now, coming to Norton's theorem, what does it says? Now, what does the Norton's theorem statement says here is, in Norton's theorem, so this is just Norton's theorem is like a source transformation of the Thevenin's network. So what Norton said is, any linear bilateral, let us have any linear bilateral network, which is however complicated maybe, can be converted into a simplest network which contains a Norton's current source in parallel with the Norton's equivalent resistance, and that in turn parallel with the load resistance. So this is the Norton's current source, which is IN, which is Rn is the Norton's equivalent resistance in parallel with the load. Okay, so for both the circuit, you are going to find out what is IL, the current through the load. This is what we will find out. So Norton theorem circuit is equal to the source transformation of the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. You have VTH in series with RTH. If you convert this series into parallel, you get Norton circuit. So that is how they both are related. But anyway, Norton is a separate scientist and Thevenin is a separate scientist. During that time, they gave these theorems separately. They defined. When Thevenin said voltage source, he commented on voltage source in series with Thevenin's equivalent resistance. Where Norton's commented on a current source in parallel with the resistance. So this is the statement of the theorems. Now I'll just tell you the procedure involved in. First is procedure involved in getting Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So what would be the procedure in getting the Thevenin's equivalent circuit? The first step is, for a given bilateral network, for a given linear bilateral complicated network, where load is connected, so here what we do is we remove the load and create an open circuit across that load terminal, across that load terminal. So we remove the load and we create an open circuit across the load terminal, and then we measure open circuit voltage across that open terminal. Open circuit voltage across that opened load terminal. So this voltage what we measure, this voltage what we find across that open load terminal is nothing but Thevenin's equivalent voltage. Thevenin's equivalent voltage source. So this is nothing but Thevenin's equivalent voltage source value. Now what does that mean here is, what we are doing here is, now think that we have a complicated network where load is connected here. So this is linear bilateral complicated network where you have source voltage Vs, and this is my RL where IL is the current to be calculated. Now what I will do, this is the final current value that we calculated. I will remove this load and I create another circuit here by removing that load. So this is the load where it is removed, and now I try to calculate what is voltage across this open circuit. Okay, and that is nothing but V Thevenin's voltage source value. Okay, so where you remove the load, create an open circuit across the load and find out the voltage value across that open circuit, that will become the Thevenin's equivalent voltage source. Now step 2. So this is step 1 where you find out VTH. Step 2 is to find out RTH, Thevenin's equivalent resistance. So what we do here, we replace all voltage sources. So let me comment here, only independent voltage sources. Dependent sources will not hold this idea, whatever we are telling you now. We replace all independent voltage sources into short circuit, and we replace all independent current sources into open circuit, then what we do, we remove the load from the load terminal. So again we create a open circuit across the load terminal, and then we find equivalent resistance by looking towards this open circuit load terminal. Okay, and this is nothing but RTH what we find out. This equivalent resistance what we find is nothing but RTH. So what does it mean here is, for example, you will have a linear bilateral network. I will not write the complete network, we will see in the problem. So linear bilateral complicated network is given here, where you can see some sort of voltage source, some sort of current source in the network. Okay, and this is connected to load resistance. So this is RL. So this is a current source IA. Think this is a current source IB. Think this is a voltage source VA. So this can, while finding out RL, what we do, we try to create short circuit across the voltage terminal. We create a short circuit across the voltage and we open all the current sources and create an open circuit across that. So here it is short voltage and here it is current source is opened, removed. And this is possible only for independent voltage and current sources, not dependent. And we have load which is again removed. And think A and B is the load terminal. We find out the equivalent resistance by looking towards the load terminal, and that is nothing but RTH. Okay, that is step 2. Coming to step 3, write the equivalent Thevenin's circuit. And then find the load current and power. So how is that? So we'll write a Thevenin's equivalent circuit like this, which will now be connected to RL in series. So this is Thevenin's equivalent voltage source, this is Thevenin's equivalent resistance, and this is RL. So now I need to find out IL. It is very simple now. IL would be equal to what? V Thevenin divided by R Thevenin plus RL. Now power, we know power can be calculated as IL square into R. So that's it. These are the 3 steps that has been involved in Thevenin's theorem. Now coming to Norton's theorem steps. So steps involved in Norton's theorem. So step 1 is to find out the Norton's current. Okay, Norton's current is what step 1. So how do you find out the Norton's current here is, we again remove the load. Remove the load from the load terminal. In a given linear bilateral complicated network, then we short those load terminals and then we find current through that shortened load terminals, and that current is nothing but Norton's current. That current is nothing but Norton's current source. Now what is that we are doing here is nothing. We have a linear bilateral complicated network which has Vs is the source, whereas RL is connected which has load. Now this is actually converted into a network where a load is removed and now instead of open, the load is shortened like this, and then we find out a current through this shortened, and that is nothing but Norton's current. This is also known as short circuit current, ISC. IN, Norton's current, or ISC, which is short circuit current. Understood? So this is how we find out the Norton's current in any given network in the question. Now step 2 is same as step 2 of Thevenin's theorem. Step 2 is same as Thevenin's theorem, where we found RTH, which is also equal to Norton's resistance. RTH and RN are equal. Both in Norton's theorem and Thevenin's theorem, the step involved in finding out the equivalent resistance is same. So step 3 in Norton's theorem, we write the Norton's equivalent circuit, which has a current Norton's equivalent current source in parallel with Norton's equivalent resistance, that in turn parallel with the load resistance. Now here the current IL. Now how do you find out IL? IL is been found by current division rule. Current division rule. So how IL is? IL is nothing but total current IN. So this is the total current and it is getting divided across these two branches. Therefore total current IN multiplied by the opposite resistance RN divided by the summation of resistance RN and RN. Now this is how you find out IL in Norton's equivalent circuit. You use current division rule. And now after finding out this IL, power P is calculated same way how we did earlier in the Thevenin's theorem. Power equation is always same. So P equals IL square into R. So therefore this is the statement of the Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. You need to state it and you need to explain the steps involved in Norton's and Thevenin's theorem. Like how do you calculate V Thevenin, how do you calculate R Thevenin, how do you calculate Norton's current, and how do you calculate Norton's equivalent resistance, which is again equal to Thevenin's equivalent resistance. And then how do you write the Thevenin's equivalent circuit and how do you write the Norton's equivalent circuit, and then find out the current IL. Here in Thevenin's equivalent circuit, IL is equal to total voltage by total resistance, whereas here in Norton's equivalent circuit, the IL load current would be found by using a current division rule. And then we find out power, which is given by IL square into RL. Fine. I hope the Norton's and Thevenin's theorem statement is clear to you. In my next video, you will be seeing some of the problems involved in finding the solution using this Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. Okay. Thank you. Hello students. Let us solve some problems related to Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem. So this is the problem which is given, which you can see on the screen, where you need to find out the Thevenin's equivalent circuit, you need to find out the Norton's equivalent circuit, and then you need to find out the power dissipated in the 5 ohm resistance connected between terminals A and B. Now think, if there is a 5 ohm resistance connected across A and B, you need to find out what is the power dissipated or power received by this 5 ohm resistance connected across this. Okay. Now first step, we'll see how to get Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Okay. Now we all know in the video where I have explained you about the statement of Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. So I have also explained you about the procedure involved in finding out the Thevenin circuit. First step is to find out VTH. The first step is to find out the VTH. So for that I will write the circuit again. So this is plus, this is minus, and VTH is obtained across this open circuit. Okay, 10 ohms, 20 ohms, 1 amps, 10 ohms, 2 amps, 10 ohms, and 10 ohms. Yes, now we need to find out what is VTH across this open circuit terminal. Now if you carefully see this circuit, as this is open circuit, what you can see, this resistor is connected to one of the open terminal. I can remove this resistance, and where that resistance is nowhere required, as it is connected to one of the connected terminal is open. Now if you see what is VTH, VTH is nothing but voltage across this 20 ohm resistance. Voltage across 20 ohm resistance. Now if I know the current flowing through that 20 ohm, then I can easily find out what would be the voltage VTH in this particular circuit. But before that, in the circuit you can see there is a source transformation which you can apply here for this part of the circuit. If I apply the source transformation, what will I get? So I get 10 ohms connected to voltage source, another 10 ohms I have this 10 volts, and this is in turn connected to a current source, then a resistor 20 ohms, and this is my VTH. So I have a 10 volts here, 10 ohms here, then this is minus plus because the arrow is towards right side. So 2 into 10 is 20 volts, and this is again 10 ohms, this is 1 amps, and this is 20 ohms, and this is plus minus VTH, Thevenin's equivalent voltage value that we need to find out. Now what I'll do, I'll convert this parallel to series. So what will I get the next circuit? This is VTH. So this is plus on top, minus on bottom. You have 20 ohms, and this is 20 volts you will get. And then this is 10 ohms minus plus 20 volts, and then 10 volts, and then this is 10 ohms. Now the next step is what? I will try to find out the current through this loop, which is I. I will find out what is I. For that I will write the KVL equation. So if I write the KVL equation, what will I get? 10 plus 10 minus 10I plus 20 minus 10I again minus 20I minus 20 equals 0. So here plus 20 and minus 20 will get cancelled. So I am left out with 10 minus 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 40 I equals 0. Therefore I would be equal to 10 by 40, where I is nothing but 0.25 amps. Now I got the current I to be equal to 0.25 amps. Now what would be the voltage that I get in this circuit now? So for that what I'll do, I'll try to apply a KVL to this loop also. So what will I get? So for that KVL I'll apply in a reverse direction, so that the current I will flow in the same direction according to this current. So what will I get? Plus VTH minus 20 times I minus 20 equals 0. Therefore VTH, so I'm just writing the KVL loop, KVL equation for this loop. Okay, for this loop I am writing the KVL equation according to VH. So it is plus T VTH minus 20I, because I is also flowing, this current is also flowing in the same direction. Therefore VTH minus 20I minus 20 equals 0. So would be equal to 20 into I plus 20. So which is equal to 20 into 0.25 plus 20. I think this will give you VTH to be equal to 25 volts. So I hope I got the VTH now. Now my next job is, see, first job was VTH, we found it. The next step is find out what is RTH. So I need to find out RTH. For that, what will I write the circuit with? This short, open, open. So therefore so this is the terminal A and B, and I need to look towards this to find out RTH. So now what would be the values of all these resistances? I had 10 ohms, 10 ohms, 20 ohms, and see the circuit, main circuit, 10 ohms. So this is 10 ohms, 10 ohms, 20 ohms, 10 ohms. Now this is short, this is open due to current source, and this is open due to current source. Now you can't remove this 10 ohms because you are finding out RTH, not the voltage or current. As you are finding out RTH, this 10 ohms will also be there in the circuit. Now if I try to write this circuit in a different way, you can see I have 20 ohms connected in parallel with 10 ohm in series with 10 ohm, and that in turn connected to 10 ohms. This is how the circuit looks. So this is my A and B where I find out RTH. So this is 10 ohms, 20 ohms, this is 10 ohms and 10 ohms. I can write in this way, these are both are in series, that in turn in parallel with 20 and that in turn in series with 10 ohms. So 20 parallel with 20, so what do I get? 20 into 20 divided by 20 plus 20. So I get 20 to 20 is 400 divided by 40, so I get 10. So 10 ohms, therefore the next circuit would be equal to, I get 10 ohms in series with 10 ohms, and across this is my AB. So 10 ohms, 10 ohms. So therefore RTH is nothing but 10 ohms plus 10 ohms, which is 20 ohms. This is RTH. Yes. Now the step 3 is write the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Write the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So therefore I will have RTH, I will have VTH, and then I will have a load connected to this terminal. As we don't know what is load, because in the third question we will see what is load. This is RTH, this is VTH 25 volts, RTH 20 ohms. So this is the first part of the question, Thevenin's equivalent circuit is done. Now coming to the second part of the circuit question is find the Norton's equivalent circuit. I told you if you apply source transformation to Thevenin's equivalent, you get Norton's equivalent circuit. Therefore, what would be the Norton's equivalent circuit here? I have a current source in parallel with the resistant and that in parallel with the load. So that would be load is RL. Norton's equivalent will again have the same value of resistance 20 ohms, but the current would be what? I equals V by R. 25 by 20, so 5 by 4, 1.25, therefore it is 1.25 amps. So this is the Norton's equivalent circuit. This is Thevenin circuit. Okay, now the third part of the question is to find out P if the load connected is, so if you go back and see the question, so in the question it is been asked what? Find out power dissipated in a 5 ohm resistor connected between the terminals here. So for this question, either you can use Norton's circuit or Thevenin circuit to find out power if the load connected RL would be equal to 5 ohms. So for that power, the formula is IL square into RL. So we need to find out what is IL equals. IL equals what? So either I can use this Thevenin's theorem, Thevenin circuit to find out IL, or you can also use Norton's theorem to find out the IL. Any circuit you can use. So therefore I will use Thevenin circuit. IL would be equal to V Thevenin divided by RL plus RTH, which is equal to 25 divided by 20 plus 5, because 5 ohm is the load resistance. Therefore it is 25 by 25. I get IL to be equal to 1 amps. So therefore power P is equal to IL square into RL which is 1 square into RL is 5. Therefore, P would be equal to 5 watts. So this completes the third part of the question. Fine. I hope it is clear, right? So now next problem, let us go with the next problem. So second problem. So you need to find out the Thevenin's equivalent circuit for this. Okay, so first step is to find out VTH for this. So I'll just use the same circuit. You can write it separately. So here, this is what VTH we need to find out. So VTH across the load terminal is what VTH we need to find out. Okay, so what would be the method we can use to find out VTH? So if you try to think what is VTH, it is voltage at the middle stage, whatever it is given. So I would say the voltage VA would be the voltage at this terminal. Voltage VB is the voltage at this node. So therefore, what would be the current flowing through this loop and what would be the current flowing through this loop? So we'll take this as I1, this as I2. Okay, so we have current flowing through that loop, which we need to find out, and then we'll see what is VA and VB, because VTH would be equal to voltage at this point VA, voltage at this point VB, so we say it is VA minus VB. Okay, now if you clearly see, this is open, right? This is open terminal. So the current I1 is the branch current flowing through this entire branch. The current I2 would be the branch current flowing through this entire branch. Now what is the voltage across this both the branches? The total voltage across this both the branches is nothing but 50 at an angle 0 degree, right? The voltage across both the branches, either you take voltage across this branch is 50, again if you take voltage across this branch is 50. Therefore I would say I1 would be equal to the total voltage 50 divided by summation of these three resistances. So what do I get? 1040, 1040 plus J20. 1040 plus J20. If you solve this by converting this to polar, so what do I get? 50 at an angle 0 degree. So I'll just use the calculator here. So I'll say 50 at an angle 0 degree divided by shift polar of 1040, shift polar of 1040 comma 20. You get 1040.19 at an angle 1.101. So I1 would be equal to 50 divided by 1040.19. I will get 0.048 at an angle 1 minus at an angle minus 1.101 at an angle minus 1.10 amps. Similarly, if I do find out I2 is again the voltage across this entire branch is 50 only. So 50 at an angle 0 degree, because this is open. As it is open, that is how I am finding out this I1 and I2. Divided by 50 plus 1000 is 1050 minus 400J. So again, if you find out what is polar format of the denominator, I will get again shift polar of 1050 shift comma minus 400. So I do get 1123.61 at an angle minus 20.85. Therefore I2 would be equal to 50 divided by 1123.61 would be 0.044 at an angle plus 20.85 amps. Now I got I1 and I got I2. So what would be the voltage VTH? VTH is voltage across VA and VB. So therefore VA so VA minus VB, which is E naught, would be which is equal to 50 into I2 minus 40 plus J20 into I1. So here 50 into I2 is what the voltage here from here to here, and then I1 into 40 plus J20 is what here. So VTH would be equal to, sorry, this plus, if we look towards this side, so this is plus, this is minus. So this is plus and this is minus. Fine. So therefore it is 50 into I2 and 40 plus J20 into I1. So therefore we are going to have VA, which is voltage across that, and VB is voltage across that 50 into I2. If we connect, this is the ground, I'm sorry, this is the ground, okay. So it is not 50 into I2. It is actually the current flowing through this is also I1. The current flowing through this is I2, is also the current flowing through this is I2. So VA is voltage across this and VB is voltage across this. Therefore, it is 1000 into I1 minus 1000 minus J into 400 into I2. This is the equation that we get. Okay. So therefore, which is equal to 1000 into I1 is 0.048 at an angle minus 1.101 minus 1000 minus J into 400 into I2 is 0.044 at an angle 20.85. So here 1000 into 0.048 would be equal to 48 at an angle minus 1.101 minus, now I am converting this into polar, so what do I get? Shift polar of 1000, shift comma minus 400, so I get 1077.03 at an angle minus 21.801 multiplied by 0.044 at an angle 20.85. So therefore, I'll get 48 at an angle minus 1.101 minus 1077.03 multiplied by 0.044. I get 47.389 at an angle, this 20.85 minus 21.801, 20.85 minus 21.801, I'll get minus 0.951. So this would be equal to, I can't subtract the polar terms, again I will convert into rectangular of 48 comma minus 1.101 would be equal to 47.991 minus 0.922J, and then I'll convert again this into rectangular, 47.389 comma minus 0.951. I'll get 47 minus 47.382 minus 0.786J. So this would be equal to what? Finally, this would be equal to 47.991 minus 47.382 would be equal to 0.609 minus 0.922 0.786 minus 1.708J. So VTH would be equal to, in polar what we will get, shift polar of 0.609 comma minus 1.708, that will give you 1.81 at an angle minus 70.37 volts. Okay, so this is V Thevenin. Coming to R Thevenin. R Thevenin will short all the voltage source. So I'll just write the diagram here. So this is voltage source is short, and then we do have resistance, inductance, then resistance. This is the load terminal, and we do have a resistance here and a resistance and capacitance. So this is the short terminal which we have. Only one voltage source we had in this problem. So therefore 40 ohms, J20 ohms, then 50 ohms, 1000 ohms, then we have 1000 minus J400. Okay, now this is what we have. Now to find out Z out. So here, if I see this properly, this combination and these two are in parallel. So we have this is A and this is B. So this is A, where you have 40 and J20 and then 1000, and this is short, and we have 50 and 1000 and minus J4, and this is B. See, this short is nothing but these two terminals, whatever I have written. Okay, so this is 40 J20, this is 1000, 50,000 minus J400. Therefore, R Thevenin would be equal to 40 plus J20 into 1000 divided by 1040 plus J20, because they both are in parallel, added with 50 into 1000 minus J400 divided by 1050 minus J400. So finally, if you solve this, you get RTH would be equal to 88.517 at an angle 11.53 ohms. So we got VTH, we got RTH, therefore the Thevenin's equivalent voltage source will be VTH and RTH. Not RTH, sorry, this is an impedance, so we'll write the symbol as square box for impedance, ZTH, and this is the load AB. That's it. This is the problem answer, means answer for the problem.
Hello students, let us now solve problem using Thevenin's equivalent, Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem. So for this problem, obtain the Thevenin's equivalent of network shown in the below figure, and also obtain Norton's circuit, and also obtain Norton's equivalent circuit. Okay, so let us do that now. So in this theorem, first thing is we need to see the circuit, and when we are finding out Thevenin's circuit, the first job is you need to find out what is VTH. Okay, so for VTH we should see through that this circuit, whatever we have will be open, right? So therefore I'll write a separate diagram here now for finding out VTH. Anyway, load is not given, so by default that load terminal is open. X and Y is the load terminal, what you can see here. So this is x and y. So here this is the, as I was commenting on linear bilateral complicated network, this part is nothing but linear bilateral complicated network. What you can see, this is the linear complicated network. Okay, 10 ohms, 3 ohms, j 4 ohms minus j 10 ohms. So we do have this. Now we need to find what is VTH across this open terminal, which is x and y. Okay, so now we need to find out VTH across this open terminal. Now as this is open, the current through this loop is 0, right? As this is open, the current through this loop current is 0. So therefore there is no significance of this particular reactance or the capacitive reactance, whatever we have. So therefore I will again write the circuit by removing that resistance there. So now this becomes x and y. So this becomes x, y, and I need to find out what is VTH across this load terminal, which is open. So this is 3 ohm, 4 j ohms, plus minus 10 at an angle 0 degree volts, 10 ohms. Now if you carefully see this problem, the VTH, which is the voltage across this load terminal, is nothing but voltage across this branch, right? Voltage across that particular branch. Now what I will do, I will find out the current through this loop, and then we will see what is voltage across that particular branch. Okay. Now while finding out the current, we will write the KVL equation. So what is that? It is 10 at an angle 0 degree minus 10I minus 3I minus 4JI equals 0. Therefore 10 would be equal to 13 plus 4j into I. 13 plus 4j into I. Minus 10 minus 3 is minus 13 minus 4j. If it comes to the right hand side, it becomes 13 plus 4j into I. Therefore I would be equal to 10 divided by 13 plus 4j. Okay, I would be equal to 10 divided by 13 plus 4j. Okay, now what is VTH? So let us write the equation for this particular loop now. As current is flowing this direction, this current is flowing this direction, therefore formula would be for that, it is plus VTH. See, I am going in this direction now, so it is plus VTH minus 3I minus 4JI equals 0. Therefore now VTH would be equal to 3 plus 4j into I. So which is equal to 3 plus 4j into 10 divided by 13 plus 4j. I am just applying the value of I, whatever I have written here, 10 divided by 13 plus 4j ohms. I have substituted that I here. Okay. So this equation what we have got, which is equation 1, is through this loop. Okay, and this equation what we have got through this loop. Okay, so let me say it is true. Now I can easily find out what is VTH. Now converting polar to the rectangular to polar. So that is what VTH equals 10 into. So what is 3 plus 4j in polar? Let me see. So in polar, shift polar of 3, 4 will give me 5 at an angle 50 degree. So 10 into 5 at an angle 53.13 divided by 13, 4j. So shift polar of 13, 4j will give me 13.60 at an angle 60.14. Therefore VTH would be equal to 50 divided by 50 at an angle 53.13 divided by 13.60 at an angle 60.14. Therefore VTH is equal to 50 divided by 13.60 will give me 3.67 at an angle 53.13 minus 60.14 minus 7.01 volts. So I got VTH. So this is VTH, Thevenin's equivalent voltage value. The second step is I need to find out what is ZTH. So this is the second step. In the first step we found what is VTH. Now the second step is ZTH. Now again remove the load in the given network, short the voltage source and open the current source. So if I short that, what will I get here is I will have a resistor, a voltage source, then I do have a resistor and an inductor, and then I have the load terminal. So here this is X, this is Y, this is 10 ohms, 3 ohms, 4 ohms. Now this is what it is been short, voltage source is been short. Okay, so this is what the step that we need to apply earlier, what he told in step 2 in Thevenin's theorem discussion. So I have shortened this particular voltage. So this is independent voltage source, I can short it. Okay, either it can be independent AC source or DC source, you can short it. So I have minus J10, see I have not written that. So here now while finding out ZTH, that minus J10 ohms will come into picture. Okay, so this is minus J10 ohms. Now can you see this both are in parallel? Okay, so 10 is in, so what is ZTH equals? 10 is in parallel with 3 plus 4 J ohms. Okay, and this whole term which are in parallel is in series with minus J10 ohms. Okay, so these both are in parallel and that in turn in series with minus J10 ohms. So let me first do this. So it is 10 into 3 plus 4J divided by 10 plus 3 is 13 plus 4J. So which will be equal to 10 into, so 3 plus 4J is 5 at an angle, we have done earlier in VTH, you can see what is 3 plus 4J, 5 at an angle 53.13 divided by 13 plus 4J also been found earlier. See, this is the numerator, 13 plus 4J is 13.60 at an angle 60.14. Okay, we have done this 3 plus 4J, 13 plus 4J into polar in the previous VTH. So I am substituting the same. So I think when you see this 10 parallel with 3 plus 4J is something related to, see here 10 into 5 into 5, 53.13 divided by 13.60 at an angle. So this is something related to VTH only. So therefore finally we will get this parallel combination will give me 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01. This is what we get, this term. Okay, 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01. Fine. So now this will be added with minus J10 now. So which is equal to, now this I will convert into polar. What will I get? Rectangular. So shift rectangular of 3.67 comma minus 7.01. So I will get 3.64 minus 0.447J minus J10. So this will give me what? 3.64 minus 10 plus 0.447, 10.447 J. So this will be ZTH would be equal to if I convert this into polar, what will I get? 3.64 comma minus 10.447. So what will I get here is 11.06 at an angle minus 70.79 ohms. This is what we got. Okay. Now write the Thevenin's equivalent circuit here. So this is VTH, ZTH, and across the load. Yes, load is not given, we need to write just this circuit. So what is ZTH? 11.06 at an angle minus 70.79 ohms. VTH is 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01 volts. Okay, across this is X and Y. This is the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Now coming to Norton's equivalent circuit, we will try to take the same circuit which is given in the question. So this is X and Y terminal, load terminal which we have. So this is minus J 10 ohms, this is 10 ohms, 3 ohms, J 4 ohms, and the voltage source in the question which is given here is 10 at an angle 0 degree. So it is 10 at an angle 0 degree volts. Now in the Norton's theorem, what we do? We short this load terminal and then we'll find out what is the current through that load terminal, which is short circuit current. Okay, now how to find out the current through this terminal? Okay, what I'll do is I'll convert this series to parallel now first. So what will I get here is, first of all I'll get a current source. So normally the direction of the current source will be considered according to the arrow that we have in the question. So the arrow will be like this only. Normally it will be given in the question, so we need not worry. That is in parallel with this 10 ohms, and that in turn parallel with this 3 and 4J. Okay, and then we do have minus J now connected in parallel. Okay, so therefore this is 10 ohms, 3 ohms, 4J ohms, and then this is minus J 10 ohms. Now as ISC is current through this short circuit, it is nothing but the current flowing through this minus J 10 ohms. Therefore current is what? ISC, which we need to find out, which is the current through minus J 10 ohms only. And this current is V by R 10 by 10, which is what? 1 at an angle 0 degree amps. Now these both are in parallel, right? These both are in parallel. Let us convert that parallel to one single combination. So it is 10 parallel with 3 plus 4J. So this we have already found earlier. If you go back and see, 10 parallel with 3 plus 4J is nothing but 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01. So let us take the same value, 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01 is what we get when we have these two conditions are in parallel. Okay, I'll replace that now with this. So therefore I'll write a new circuit now. So I have 1 at an angle 0 degree is the current source. Then I do have an impedance of the parallel equivalent what we got now, which is 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01, and then we do have minus J10 ohms, and where the current I should be found here. Now can we apply the current division rule here, right? So we have ISC which need to be found is equal to total current 1 at an angle 0 degree multiplied by the opposite resistance, which is 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01. Okay, whole thing divided by summation of these two, which is now 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01. When we find out the rectangular term, this is what we get: 3.64 minus 0.447. This we have found earlier, so I am just writing it again: minus 0.447 J minus J10 minus J10. So this will give me the same answer which we have already done here. See here, 3.64 minus 10.44 J will give me 11.06 at an angle minus 70.79. So it is ISC equals 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01 divided by 11.06 at an angle minus 70.79. Okay, so therefore ISC will be equal to, so what do we get? ISC 3.67 divided by 11.06 will give me 0.331 at an angle minus 7.01 plus 70.79, 63.78 amps. ZTH and what do you say, Zn is same. ZTH and Zn are same. Therefore the Norton's equivalent circuit would be where current is 0.331 at an angle 63.78. Zn would be equal to 11.06 at an angle minus 70.79. Now if you go back and carefully see this, as we have used this short circuit and all method, whatever I have done now, will it not be the same if I apply the source transformation for this? What will I get when I apply source transformation? Where this I, whatever we find out, will be VTH by ZTH, which is 3.67 at an angle minus 7.01 divided by 11.06 at an angle minus 70.79. Is that not the same value that we have got for ISC here? So therefore, to find out the current in Norton's theorem, either you can short circuit and find out what is ISC, and if that is, if not, you can find out VThevenin and then get the Norton's. Okay, so either the way you can do, but in the exam if they ask you to use Norton's theorem, see through that you use this method whatever I have taught you, shorting the the terminals and then finding it out. Okay, and if they ask you find out Norton's equivalent circuit and Thevenin's equivalent circuit, you can apply Thevenin's theorem and find out the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Finally, while writing Norton's circuit, you try to apply source transformation. Okay, I hope this problem is clear to you. Okay, now let us go to the next problem. Okay, now this is the problem where you can see a dependent sources which is given. Okay, you have a problem here where a dependent sources is given. They are asking you to find out the Thevenin's equivalent circuit for this. Now normal Thevenin's procedure is not now used. I think in the video, in the previous the discussion, I have told you the procedure for solving the problem when we have a dependent source. So here step 1 is, what would be the step 1? Step 1 would be finding out VTH. and step 2 is finding out ISC and then ZTH, step 3, and then step 4 is write the circuit. Okay, now let us find out the first step, which is VTH. Okay, let us find VTH. So I'll just reiterate the diagram here. Okay, so this is plus minus 8 volts, 1 kilo ohms, 2 kilo ohms, Vx by 2000 plus minus, this is the load terminal where Vx is also given, which is nothing but VTH now, okay, which is nothing but VTH, open terminal. Now this is a dependent source, you can't short it. While finding out ZTH, you can only short this independent voltage source, but not the current source. You cannot open this, okay, as it is dependent on Vx. That is the reason we are doing these steps now. Now the Vx is open. Now this is the open circuit voltage where this dependent source is also dependent on. As this is open, this 2 kilo ohms will not show its significance, okay. Therefore I'll again write the circuit. As the current in this loop is 0, this resistance doesn't create any voltage drop, therefore we don't need that resistance, we just remove it. So therefore this is plus minus, I'll say VTH. Now this current source, instead of Vx I will write VTH by 2000. So I'll write this is 1 kilo ohms and then this is it. Now what I'll do, I'll convert this series combination of voltage in series with resistance to a current source in parallel with the resistance. So what will I get? So the direction of the current source will be towards upside because plus and minus is written like this. This is 1 kilo ohms. So the current source value will be what? V by R. So it is 8 by 1K. Okay, so therefore if I do it in the calci, 8 divided by 1000, I can easily say, I don't need a calci here because 8 divided by 1000, I can easily say it is 8 milliamps. See, kilo is 1000, which is 10 power 3. Now 1 over 10 power 3 is 10 power minus 3, which is nothing but milli. Okay, this is kilo and this is milli, which is in m's. M is the denotation. Now this is the VTH we need to find out. Okay, now you see this both are current sources. I can easily say VTH by 2000 plus 8 milliamps is the total current source that I get. And that in turn in parallel with the resistance, and that is nothing but VTH, and this is 1 kilo ohms. Now this would be equal to, I'll just convert again that into voltage source. What will I get? So this whole thing into 1 kilo ohms. Or else voltage across this VTH is what we need to find out. It is nothing but current multiplied by the resistance, that's it. Okay, so I'll just write the equivalent circuit, then we'll see that. So because when current is entering in this circuit, so it will be the current I only, as this it's open, so it's 0. So voltage across this would be the same current flowing. So therefore VTH would be equal to this VTH by 2000 plus 8 milli multiplied by 1K. So if you multiply that, so I get VTH divided by 2. 1000 by 2000 is nothing but 1 over 2. Okay, VTH by 2 plus 8 milli into 1 kilo, which is nothing but just 8, right? 8 into 10 power minus 3 into 10 power plus 3. So it is just 8. So therefore VTH equals VTH by 2 plus 8. So VTH minus VTH by 2 plus equals 8. So VTH 1 minus 1 by 2 is VTH by 2 equals 8. Therefore VTH equals 16 volts. Step 1 is over. We found VTH to be equal to 16 volts. Now coming to step 2. Step 2 is find out ISC. Step 2 is find out what is short circuit current ISC. Go back and copy the same circuit once again. So we have a voltage source series with the resistance. We have a dependent source, right? And then in the circuit, whatever it is given, we have 2 kilo ohms there. We do have a 2 kilo ohms here. So this is plus minus 8 volts. This is 1K, 2K, current source Vx by 2000. Okay, now what we do is we try to short this load terminal and then we find out what is ISC. Now the voltage across this was Vx, right? When you short this terminal, Vx will be equal to 0. Okay, Vx is now equal to 0. Now this dependent source will also become 0. Okay, once current of the dependent source equals 0, the dependent source is a current source. If the current source value is 0, then this entire dependent source will behave as open circuit. The reason is, as voltage across this terminal now it has been shortened, therefore Vx is now equal to 0. Therefore once Vx 0, this current value will be equal to 0, then this current source will behave as an open circuit. So what would be the equivalent circuit that we get here is, so I have 1 kilo ohm, 2 kilo ohm, I have 8 volts, and this is ISC which we need to find out. So ISC nothing but is now the loop current of this loop. So what would be ISC? ISC is now equal to total voltage 8 divided by 1 kilo plus 2 kilo ohms. So which is equal to 8 divided by 3 kilo ohms. So 8 divided by 3000 is what we need to see now. We get 2.6 milliamps. Okay, ISC would be equal to 2.6 milliamps. Okay, now the third step is to find out what is ZTH. The third step is to find out what is ZTH or Zn. Anyway, this is Thevenin's theorem Deva, so ZTH will write. Now ZTH is very simple, V Thevenin by ISC. V Thevenin was 16 volts which we have got. ISC was 2.6 milliamps. Therefore ZTH will be now equal to 16 divided by 2.6 will give me 6.153, and this milli 1 over 10 power minus 3 will be now equal to 10 power 3 becomes kilo ohms. So this is ZTH. Therefore, the last step, what is that is step 4 is to write the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So for Thevenin's equivalent circuit, I need the Thevenin's equivalent voltage and Thevenin's equivalent. Now it is not ZTH, it is RTH, because it is a resistance, purely resistance connected across the load terminal X and Y, where VTH is 16 volts and ZTH is 6.153 kilo ohms. Now if they ask you to write the Norton equivalent circuit for the same question, you can easily write, because ISC has been found in this question, therefore ISC is the current which we have got, and this would be the RTH in parallel, and then anyway load is not given, so we'll just keep it as open. This would be XY. This would be 6.153 kilo ohms, as ZTH and Zn is same, and this current source value would be equal to 2.6 milliamps. So this is Thevenin's circuit. For the same question, if Norton is asked, this is the Norton circuit. Now for further, if they give you a load connection here and find out load current, you know how to find it out. Apply the KVL for this that loop and find out what is IL. Further here, if they give you load resistance and find out IL, current division rule you apply and find out what is IL. Fine. I hope this second problem is clear to you.